Hi, welcome back to Maths with Kumar. Remember I told you I just want to show you my signature. Alright, you spell Kumar, K-U-M-E-R. Wow, it's the same yellow as my blouse. Now when I put this K a little bit bigger, it becomes, I'm cruel Kumar. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. And sometimes this K becomes much bigger, the kindness, and this becomes small. Now in maths, alright, Maths with Kumar, if you have me real one-to-one, personally, you see me, you will see that in me. Now, not for any reason that I will smack you or whatever, but I just want you to have this inner desire to excel, to practice, to get it right. In maths, you need that, my dear, and the kindness. So that's why you have to be firm as well as flexible. So back with me, and I can assure you, you follow me through, you're there. And vectors today in 2 dimensions will become as easy as ABC, right? You can open your mind, open your eyes to see what you're reading, open your ears to listen to me and get it in. Alright, if you're not very clear, go through it again, the video clip, and you will have a better understanding. Now in vectors, we talk about vectors. Have this word in you, victory. Alright, when you have no direction, you're lost. Vectors is about direction. Going in direction, having a direction. So it's really good chapter to build up a certain skill like having directions. Let's look at these terminologies that you'll come across. Position vectors, magnitude of vector, equal vectors, negative vectors, zero vector, sum of 2 vectors, the difference of 2 vectors, parallel vectors, and the multiplication. And once you get attuned to them, and I'll then bring you to some work techniques, and after which you get to do the drills, and you can say, hooray, you got it, all right? Okay, smile, everybody. Yeah, great. Now vectors, if I draw a direction of a vector this way, this is vector A, And if I want a vector 2A, all right, it will be a length which is double of this, all right, a double of it. I'm just doing an approximation. That's called 2A. And these 2 vectors are parallel. They're going the same direction. All right, so that's parallel vector. Not a problem. Now, if I have a vector B goes this way. That's vector B. When you write a vector, you can write a vector. You can bold it. All right, write it in bold, dark, or you can put it this way. All right, with a curl there, or you can put it this way, depending again. You can put it this way, all right? But I would choose to write sometimes up. I would write it this way. When I put it in bold, please take note, B, or like this, whatever. So take note of it, that's vectors. Okay, get your understanding. Now this is vector B, all right? I can even put this letter A. Now this vector B. Now when I want a vector 2B, what will that be? It'll be a double of it. If I want 3B, it'll be 3 times of it. If I want a half B, that's called a half B. All right? That's a half B. Now, if I want a negative B, so it's going in the same direction, it's the same length, take note, but this is a minus. This is a negative vector. Got it? Good. Now these are just called vectors. These are parallel vectors, and if you look at it, when we apply a number, a scalar number, in this case is 2, it's 2A. In this case, it's minus, I mean, we're putting here as a 1, it's still the same, but it's a negative vector. Now, if we look at vector, if I want a vector like this, I said, hey, what is vector A plus vector B? Alright, what do you get? It's a sum of two vectors, vector A plus vector B. And you know that vector A is going that way. Alright, we go this way. And vector B, alright, this is vector A, and vector B is going this way, vector B. So this vector plus this vector, you get the resultant vector. Starting point here, it goes there and it comes back here. So that's the end. And you join these two and you say, hey, this is vector A plus vector B. Got it? Alright, that's the meaning. So what we've done is vector A plus vector B. That's a sum of two vectors. We've got that right. Alright, now, and yes, now we're talking about the multiplication of vectors. Alright, now, let's look at if I said, hey, what is 3A minus 2B? 3A, where's vector A? This way, 3A is 3 times that length. So let me put it this way, getting the direction of vectors, I'm just putting the same there. This is how the direction of vector A is, right? And 3A is going to be 3 times the length. 3 times the length. 2, 3. Alright, it should be a straight line. And I'm going to erase that because I don't like that. Alright, the length of 3A will be approximately there. 3A. Or maybe I can use this, alright? 3A, vector 3A. Now, and I said 3A plus 2B. And 2B, B is going this way, the direction vector B. So I said 2B, this is 1B, 2B. So that's 2B. 3A, 2B, and the starting point was here, the ending point is there, and I join this, and what I've got is this vector, which is 3A plus 2B. That's called the resultant vector, the sum of these two vectors. Alright? And if I draw if I draw another line across, I'm afraid if it's parallel to this, it's also 3A plus 2B. But if I draw a line in this way, it's supposed to be parallel, but it's the opposite direction, then what will it be? It'll be a minus 3A and a minus 2B, right? Because it's going in the opposite direction, and so you get a minus 3A and a minus 2B. Alright, so that's the negative vector. Now, when we talk about vectors, it is very basic, this knowledge. You've got to understand it thoroughly well, and from there it becomes a lot more easier. If I look at a vector like this, I said I have 1.5A minus 2B. Oh, 1.5A. You look at A and it's in a positive direction, so it goes this way, A, that's 1.5A minus 2B. B is going this way, so your minus will go that way. So if I go that way, minus 2B, this is the B. Look at the direction of B. The B is this, minus 2B be that way. So I draw a minus 2B that way. Alright, that's a minus 2B. And so the resultant vector will be this, from here to here. So this is what we get. Alright, so I'm going to write it out again. I'm going to say, hey you, this blue one is a minus 2B. Let me write it out properly. This is a minus 2B. So look at this again. 3 over 2A minus 2B gives us this resultant vector. And this vector is 3 over 2A minus 2B. This is what we get. right? Okay, good, then you understood them. Now what happens if I change my vector and I said, oi, this is vector P, and this is vector Q. Alright, P and Q. And you want 2P plus 3Q. What is 2P going to be? It's going to be double the length of this. So 2P, yeah, 2P plus 3Q. 3Q is 3 times the length. So that's a 3Q, let's assume. Alright, 3Q. And so the resultant starting point here, it goes there and it goes there. So you see it's about direction. So your 2P plus 3Q will be this entire length, resulting vector 2P plus 3Q. Forgive me sometimes when I don't write this marking as I talk to you and I tell you it's a vector, take note of it. Alright? Okay, now if I said, hey, this is the I vector. I vector. This is the J vector. What is 2I plus 3J? 2I is double the length. Oh, sorry, because I've got 2I plus 3J. I have 2P plus 3Q. I got it here. Let me tell you what is 2I if they ask you. All right, minus 2J. What do you do? 2I is this way. 2J is a minus. So it's going to go in the opposite direction. So where is the opposite direction? It's going to be this way and twice the length. So let me transfer that. I vector 2I minus 2J, opposite direction, 2J. And so this vector here, 2I, let me put it nicely. You've got 2I here, 2J that way. So your resultant vector will be this, from here to here. So you get 2I minus 2J. Got it? Great. Now, do not get intimidated by vectors. Now we're going to learn about magnitude of vectors, and we're going to come to position vectors. But when we talk about equal vectors, they mean that they're equal in magnitude and they're having the same direction. Like these vectors are equal vectors. They have the directions about there, but just in opposite direction. Alright? But if you look at this, these are not equal. But if I have another A, this is an equal vector. Alright? So if I have an A plus B, and I have another vector here, same direction, parallel, this is an A plus B. Alright? Equal vectors. Now we've got to be familiar with this, and a zero vector means a vector which is just a zero. Alright? The magnitude is a zero, and it's just a point, a zero vector. You don't know which way it's going. Alright? And we have looked at the difference of two vectors. Like if I said, what is A minus B? A is this, that's B. And so we found out the difference. And what you get, A is going this way, B, is this way, but you have a minus B. So look at that. Your B will go this way. That's a minus B, and then your resultant vector is here, A minus B. Got it? So it's the difference of vectors, and you get a resultant vector. So you can see, when it's A plus B, we got that. A minus B, it became different. They're not the same. A plus B is not the same as A minus B. Right? So please take note of it. A plus B is not the same as A minus B. The direction is totally different. This is A, that's B, that's A plus B. Here's A, that's minus B. It's A minus B, the difference of vectors. We're now going to go on to magnitude of vectors and position vectors. Alright? So the clarity of it will be clear. And as far as position vectors is concerned, I'm going to bring you to coordinate geometry and to help you understand it better. Alright? So I would like you to stretch yourself and come back to me shortly. Thank you.